AITA for telling my wife to go and see her son before he dies? My wife Sarah, 39F, has a son Vicky, 20M, from her previous marriage. Because of the way my wife and I got together, there was a lot of strife in her divorce from her ex. There was a lot of tumult in Vicky's life and he was only 8 at the time. For a few years, my wife tried her best and tried everything to help him, but it was like the more she tried, the further away he got. It came to a head when he was 12 and she caught him trying to smoke, and then he almost broke her jaw when she stopped him. After that, she stopped trying to force the custody and just let him stay with his dad. When he was 14 and we had our son, she sent him a message that his brother was born and that even if he doesn't want to be around her, it doesn't mean he can't love his brother. He just responded back with, "Go yourself." She tried the same thing 3 years later when our daughter was born but got no response this time. Well, 2 days ago she got a call from her ex and he was crying and apparently Vicky is dying. He has cancer and they found it very, very late and he's optimistically only got a month left and he's been begging to see her. So, I've told my wife to go and spend the month with him. She can work online from a month or take a leave or just quit if they don't understand. However, she's refused and she's used everything from work to needing to take care of our kids to even, what if it's just a trick to hurt me more, as excuses to not go. At the same time, she keeps crying, muttering about thinking she had more time, ignoring our kids, looking at old photo albums of her and Vicky. It came to a head this morning when I caught her having a breakdown in her car before going to work. I begged her to reconsider when I saw and she called me a ing hole for trying to push her into going. I know he's not my son and that I have no right over him, but not going is tearing Sarah apart, so AITA? Edit. To everyone confused, when our kids were born are not the only 2 times that my wife tried to reach out and ask if he was ready to see her. It's just when our son was born was the only time that he responded. She tried up until his graduation when even his father tried to get him to invite her. She sent him money, presents and everything for his birthdays. And as for when he struck her when he was 12, he did so with a hockey stick and then kicked her when she fell. She forgave him for that because she knew what he was going through and he's her child, but she decided to stop seeing him then because she didn't want her presence in his life to make him more violent. What if he hit another kid like that was her thought. And to everyone saying therapy. Yes, she took him to therapy. She tried so much but he was non-responsive then. Update, AITA for telling my wife to go and see her son before he dies? I have provided proof that this is me since my account was banned, probably because I made it from a work machine I remote into. My wife's son Vicky passed away a week ago and I guess I'm posting because I also feel I need to clear up how I feel about things and people were so willing to listen here before. Now after my wife came home the day I posted we had another big argument about it and I honestly felt I wasn't getting through to her. I tried to use some of the points that people in the comments told me and I just was surprised at how stubborn she could be. But it ended with her screaming at me that her son's not sick, he's not dying and he's fine. I don't know if she was just that deep in denial or she thought it was a trick or something, but the way she screamed scared our kids, so I felt that I had to just let it lie. My wife actually got a call a few days later from a young woman claiming to be her son's wife and begging her to come, and that made her do it, and the people at her work were so understanding they gave her up until the end of this month off. My relatives came over to help me with the kids since she made it clear that she had to do this by herself. She took a flight out to where her son's family was staying, got a hotel and went to see him. She hasn't really told me everything in detail given that she only got home 2 days ago, but pretty much, according to her ex, their son started acting odd about the time he graduated high school. They didn't think anything of it then because he was acting way more mature. They got him married in India about half a year ago with no objections, and she said her ex was blaming himself for not having realized that he changed because he was sick. She told Met Hay got him married because his wife is the only child of a family with a lot of land. What's really made her cry over and over again is that nobody even told her that her son was getting married. She keeps telling me that she would have known he was sick, she would have been able to save him, that she should have been there. Honestly, she's right to blame her ex because her own relatives don't talk to her, she doesn't use Facebook and she had a right to know. As for her daughter-in-law, my wife has done nothing but sing her praises. She's studying engineering at the University of Alberta and she is currently pregnant, and that's honestly giving my wife a bit of hope. She said that a piece of her son is still there, and I honestly don't know how she would have been if she wasn't. I know how hard it must be for my wife's daughter-in-law, but I am glad that they can be there for each other. As for my wife's son, my wife really hasn't shared that much with me. She's just said that he was sad, he kept on apologizing for he was and forgetting things, and that the way he was made her feel like her son was already gone before she made it there. She did tell me that he passed away in her arms while she was praying, so I really hope that means that they were able to reconnect. I don't expect her to share this with me, but I guess that's where my frustration comes from. I've always wanted my wife to have everything she wants, and I know in her heart there's nothing she's wanted more than her son back, because he was her heart and now she can't have that. And it's not like an estranged parent or sibling dying because he was her son and she made him, she literally made him, and I see her crying that it should have been her, and it honestly makes me angry. All I can do is be there for her, but I feel like I shouldn't have to be, because her son shouldn't have had to die so young and so cruelly. So, thanks for listening to my rant. I might come here again if I need to rant.